Hey everyone, welcome back to another stream. As you see, today we're going to be playing some Radiant Silvergun. This is one of my favorite shoot-em-ups ever created. I was actually there when this first came out on the Sega Saturn back in 1998. A friend and I had both imported this game. And, it was a game I actually didn't even really care for that much when I first played it. But after putting some time into it, letting it grow on me, it really grew on me, and it turned into, one of my favorite games of all time, not just shoot 'em ups. But today is kind of a special day. It is September 13th, 2022. I know I'm going to date myself by giving the date out like that, but it released on Nintendo Switch. Yes, there was a conversion apparently developed by Livewire Incorporated. I'm sure they've done other stuff before. I've never actually really heard of them before, but yeah, so in conjunction with, Treasure's blessings, this conversion was done by another company, and it was published today. No clue as of yet if it's going to be on other platforms like PC and Steam, or if it's going to be on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. For anybody that doesn't know, this was actually released back in, I don't remember if it was 2010 or 2011 or 2012. It's been at least 10 years now. This was released on Xbox 360. And from what I can tell, this is basically the Xbox 360 version, but for Nintendo Switch. I haven't actually played the game yet. I have watched the attract mode, and I have gone through the option menus and stuff like that, and it seems to be pretty much like all the same. The Xbox 360 version is still available, and it actually, I think it costs a little bit cheaper. I think it's $15, whereas the Switch version is $20. And the Xbox 360 one is backwards compatible on Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles as well. So you've technically got 3 generations of Xbox hardware you could already play this on, for quite some time. But not everybody is in the Xbox ecosystem, and so this game is finally available elsewhere. Again, as of doing this stream, there's no telling yet if it's going to be available on other platforms. Hopefully they bring it out to, like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and especially PC. I've got a massive shmups library on PC. I would love to. This is one of the only games out there, along with games like Doom and Quake, where I will not just double dip, but I will quadruple dip. I'll own every version of this game. And I still own the Saturn version as well. I have actually owned the arcade PCB multiple times as well, too. Unfortunately, I don't have that anymore. But, yeah, so we're going to jump into this. We're going to actually kind of see how this is. I am using the 8-bit Do arcade stick. We are actually using it in wired mode. So, I'll be able to talk about how I feel the input latency is and stuff like that. I know the Xbox 360 version is quite responsive, so yeah, we'll see if we have any problems here. I know the Nintendo Switch shmups on it have a tendency of having some input lag issues, but yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens here. So let me actually hit the B button to go back. I'll take it back to the title screen. If you let us sit at the title screen, it will play the introduction to the game. Which Radiant Silvergun was really special when it came out, because it was one of the very few shoot 'em ups that actually had that's not a good sign. That background, holy hell, that is super choppy. That's not good. That's supposed to be like a flawless 60 FPS. Okay, so this might not be like a home run. I watched the attract mode once already, but I didn't see this level. And in Radiant Silvergun, the game pretty much always runs at like a nice 60 FPS. It's such a beautiful looking game on the Saturn in particular, and the arcade. But some of the background graphical glitching kind of has me a little worried here. No, we'll see. We're still going to play the game regardless. But yeah, one thing that was special about this game when it came out well over 20 years ago is that it had an animated introduction, which was kind of rare for games of that era, because that probably cost a lot of money to do that and took time. And so Radiant Silvergun has some pretty sweet hand-drawn animation, which is nice, for like story development and things like that. And what was really cool about the Xbox 360 version, they actually translated the introduction as well. So a lot of us, like myself, don't speak Japanese. We play a lot of Japanese games, but we don't know a lick of Japanese. And they translated it. So it was the first time I actually got to, really understand the introduction story for Radiant Silvergun. So I'll go ahead and let that play out too. Before we jump into the game. Now, from what I understand, this has everything. This has story mode from the Xbox 360 version, which we might play a little bit later. We may or may not. I do have to get out of here in a couple of hours. I have to move a pinball machine out of my apartment, and I'm actually waiting for my friend to get back to me to see when he can come by. I figured we can play this for a couple hours. I'm not sure if I'll have enough time to really show off story mode. I think we probably will, because this game isn't that long in arcade mode. Arcade mode is only about 2/3 or 3/4 of the game, whereas story mode adds forces you to play another level, and then there's an extra level at the end. So the story mode is definitely significantly longer, but we've probably got enough time for a few playthroughs. So yeah, it looks like this is that part's translated as well, which is nice, which is very cool. We'll just let this cycle a bunch of times and wait until the FMV kicks in. Hey Adam, welcome back. And I see Red out there. I see Freddy, Savvy, Chenti, Dasan, welcome back. And of course Adam. Might have said Adam already. I see Zero was out there too. Hope all you guys are doing well today. But yeah, that background stutter actually on that other attract mode kind of worries me. Because that was one concern I had about this version of the game, was potential performance problems. Now, for anyone that has played Silvergun before, all these graphical filters you see applied, you can actually disable those, and you can make it look pretty much identical to the Sega Saturn game or the arcade game. So what I will do is, I will likely play it like this once, and then I'll turn off all the filters so we can play it how it was meant to be played. Can't say I'm a huge fan of the filters of this. I never have been, but, I'm all for options, as long as you can disable them. So, it doesn't offend me because they can be turned off, and usually when I play this, I leave all those filters turned off. Filters, it's not even just filters, but it's also like special effects, there's bloom and things like that wasn't really in the original game. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, Dasan, you're right. It's possible, even if there are issues, they might still patch it. Yeah, this is literally day one. So anybody that's stumbling upon this stream like months down the road, this is day one as of doing this stream. So I would definitely research into whether the game's been patched by the time you get it. Man, this has to cycle a lot before it does the FMV. It did it like on the first go around the other day when I fired this up. You know what I might do is actually just exit the game and then just relaunch it, and then it'll probably do the FMV first. Yeah, this is just doing the. So the arcade mode actually didn't have FMV. It had slideshows like this. So. But basically what happens is, civilization discovers this, this diamond-shaped object, and it turns out it's like an old ancient artifact, and it actually wipes out the entire world. It's a pretty dark story, actually, but the game actually takes itself very, lightly in the beginning, in the introduction sequence. The cast of characters is just goofy. But I suppose that's probably a way to balance out the apocalyptic nature of the story. All right, let's go ahead and exit out here. Where's my home button on this controller? I have no idea. I'm using my 8-bit Do arcade stick, and I don't know. Let's try the yellow button. There's nothing with the home key on it. Okay, that is definitely not it, and that is definitely not it. That is it. Okay. It doesn't even say home on it. It's got a heart. Alright, let's see. I need to do X, which on Nintendo controllers is in the opposite direction of what I'm used to. I had actually thought about making this a shmup stream in general, Because I got Mushihima-sama, I bought Dodonpachi Resurrection, I bought Escaluda 2. I mean, I bought those a while ago. I've got Thunder Force AC, and I got a ton of other shooters in the system. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. Yeah, like Adam said, Dasan, it is $20. Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, we'll go ahead and let it cycle one more time. If it doesn't, I'll just jump right into it. Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of those games that doesn't really have any music in the beginning, and this version of the game actually doesn't have a sound test mode. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'll shut up.
未だ構成素材からその用途目的まで全く解明できない。さらに興味深い難問がもう一つある。科研三部調査班の報告によると、例の物体と一緒にロボノイドが発掘されたらしい。クリエイトタイプ ID00104。バカな、期限前ですぞ。しかもここにいるクリエイターと同じ型番、なんかの間違いでは。確かに私もそう思った。だが製造元である我々が発掘したのだ。間違いようがない。理解不能です。やる気あんのか。とっとと調べさせろよ。
双子の兄弟なのかな。
いいね、それ面白いよ。現在記憶データ解析中だ。分かり次第追って連絡する。それから今日は君たちのテスト最終日だったな。上層部もしがたきには期待しておる。頑張ってくれたまえ。親父、気合がありゃテストなんざ必要ねえよ。天外、外の成績はどうなのかね。最低であります。これは確かに。サムは人手が足りないんだからクローンを導入すべきですよ。
クローンか。技術的にはロボノイドに任せれば簡単に作れるから問題はないが、
上層部ですね。まったく何考えてんだが。ところでこいつどうですか。
石は全くわからん。ロボノイドの記憶はあと少し。出た。
どんな感じですか。こんなことが。
コンピューター、最後の方を見せてくれ。
この石のような物体ってまさかこいつですか。
緊急回転。 近パイロット各員は別名あるまで戦闘配信して待機。了解。西暦2520年7月14日、この日世界は消滅した。我々4人と1体のロボノイドを残して。
All right, there we go. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. I've already set up my controls. So Radiant Silvergun has 7 forms of weapon functionality. I like to play arcade style, so in order to access your 7 different attacks, you have to do different key combinations with A, B, or C, or buttons 1, 2, or 3. On these console conversions, by default, there's actually a weapon mapped to just about every button on your controller. You know, that went for the Saturn version, but I like to play with the arcade style, because I used to own the PCB for a long time. Dasan says you have to kind of just ignore all this crap. It's a great game. I don't know. I like the story in this game, Dasan. I think it's actually really solid for the time. You know, like the introduction, the first half is really goofy, but then the second half is really serious, and it's, you know, it was effective. Not many shmups were able to pull off, you know, a half-decent story. And honestly, the ending is kind of a tearjerker, in my opinion. So thanks to Son for being a negative Nazi. Alright, let me go ahead and just jump into the game so Son can stop harping on the story. Alright, A button. So arcade mode, it's like the arcade game, but also story mode is very interesting. In story mode, what happens is you have to play through every level in the game, whereas in the arcade mode, you have like split paths, so you don't actually play through the entire game in arcade mode. Which gives it replay value, actually. You know, and you can try to perfect a specific route. Some people say the left route is easier than the right route. But also, story mode allows you to save your weapon levels. I haven't mentioned it yet. You do actually get... Your score is basically like experience points, so your ship actually levels up. Some of the characters survive Dasan because the robot basically like clones them. Have you even like watched the ending? I would also recommend watching the actual story mode ending, because it's all animated and there's music and stuff like that, and it's explained in the arcade mode ending, but it's you know, goes by a lot faster because, you know, it's an arcade game. But yeah, so as you shoot stuff, your points are also experience points, and your ship will level up. And when you get a game over in story mode, you can actually save that experience point process or progress, start a new game with that current level. So the game gets easier and easier and easier the more you play it in story mode. Yeah, in story mode, enemies generally have more health. They take longer to kill, but the crutch is that, okay, you can just restart the game with your current level, and there will be a point where your ship will be completely maxed out, and you can start from level 1 maxed out. And that's a really good beginner strategy. If you're new to this game, and you're really struggling with arcade mode, which I guarantee you will, I would recommend story mode and just playing it almost like an RPG, where you just play it again and again, you grind out, and then, you know, it'll help you learn the levels, but it'll also make your life a little bit easier, you know, in terms of boss fights and stuff like that. So all right, so you've got normal play, which is basically arcade mode. You got score attack, training. There's also a replay system, so you can actually save, you know, basically a recording of your entire gameplay session and just watch it back. I don't remember if score attack is literally just like you play one level, or if it's you just try to go through the whole game and there's a leaderboard. Apparently, this does have online functionality, so it does have scoreboards and stuff like that. So. Alright, let's do normal mode. We're going to do default settings. Looks like I get an extra life at 1,000,000 points and then 5,000,000. And yeah, a bunch of different difficulty levels. I will do my best to try to explain things. And again, like I said, I'm going to leave it on the default graphical settings to start. And then in my next session, I will... let's see. Yep, there we go. On my next session, I will turn the filters off. Holy hell, that bloom is something to behold. Okay, so far it feels like the input lag is actually really nice. This actually feels super responsive. This feels like, you know, what I'm used to with Silvergun. So for anyone that has played Ikaruga, there is a slightly similar chaining system in this game. Granted, this game was the predecessor. Ikaruga came later. If you kill 3 enemies of the same color, you'll do a chain. And on the top left, there's actually a little heads-up display showing my chain status. Now, it should be known I have not warmed up at all. It's the first game I've played all day today, so we'll just kind of see what happens. And I actually haven't played Radiant Silvergun now in probably a couple of months. And I'm not great at the game either. You know, I've gotten close to 1cc in the game once, actually a couple times. But I still haven't made it happen yet, so it's not like I'm an expert. But I have played it quite a bit over the years. I especially know the earlier levels pretty well. But yeah, if you kill 3 of the same colored enemies, you will make a chain happen. And if you just keep killing the same color of enemies over and over, that chain value will just continue to grow. And then that's how you can level up your weapons faster. So all these enemies I'm killing right now are just all red enemies. This is a good strategy on the first level to get really big points and level up your character fast. Now, I believe how it works is the weapon that you destroy enemies with is where your experience points go in terms of leveling up. So it's your individual weapons that level up, not necessarily your ship. Pressing A and B together does this little lock-on laser. It's very handy. Pressing the A by itself just does this focused shot. Now, there's also another form of chain, which is called the secret chain. I'll try to explain that in a little bit. Now, if you press all 3 buttons, and again, if you're playing the Saturn or the 360 or the Switch version, it is its own key if you want. Again, I prefer playing arcade style, but you can absorb these pink bullets. And by doing so, you fill up a meter. There's a nice little sound that's made when you fill it up completely. And you can basically use a bomb. It's like a sword bomb. Use a huge version of the sword. Just like that. It makes you invincible for a few seconds. What's the input lag like? I mean, it feels great to me. I'm not really... You know, I don't know. For all I know, there could be a couple frames, but it's not enough for me to really notice if anything is there, so... I actually kind of wish I held on to my sword. I usually use it on this thing right here on the left. It's okay. You can also scrape walls for extra points. Not a lot of points, but... Oops, didn't actually want to do that. Actually messed up a chain opportunity, but that's okay. Not playing for perfection here. Yeah, so again, I haven't really noticed much in terms of input lag, but I am using the 8-bit-do arcade stick. I do know that input lag, especially on the Switch, varies depending on the accessory that you're using. Now, pressing B and C together, if you're playing in arcade mode like I am, or playing arcade style like I am, you do this like homing lock-on laser. You can actually find these little hidden dogs throughout the levels. They give you a bunch of bonus points. And it's also a pretty good weapon in its own right. All the weapons in this game are really decent for certain situations. I love using this, like, little, you know, lock-on laser on this boss. You can get rid of his front arms real fast. You see my A weapon is leveled up pretty decently already. It's about twice the size it was when I started. Ah, this game is so damn good. It's one of the all-time greats. Alright, let's go ahead and just use my sword here. Boom. Because that last little spread pattern can be a little difficult to avoid. Yeah, there is destruction bonuses too on the boss fights. I'm going to do a secret bonus here. So you do as many red enemies as you want, you hit one blue, and then as many yellows as you can. And then you get some really big points for that. So there are certain parts of the game where, like this right here, I go for the secret bonus. And this is probably one of the first, like, really tough bosses if you're not used to this game. If you've ever played anything by Treasure... Oh, no, I ran into that block. Are you serious? Ugh. If you've ever played anything by Treasure before, then this will feel right at home in terms of boss structure and things like that. Yeah, so you have to avoid those blocks, and I ran into one. Alright, another secret bonus. And another. Alright, let me just get rid of these guys. I don't really care about chaining at this point. My main firepower, my A shot is actually pretty large right now, which is nice. Your A shot, or your Vulcan, is very, very powerful in this game. So that's definitely the primary weapon you want to get upgraded, first and foremost. Your C weapon is probably the second best, because it shoots to the sides and it can also be powerful. I guess it's called spread. And then your B weapon, which is homing, very weak, but it's got its uses. Like I said, you know, all the weapons have their uses in this game. There's not a single weapon in this game that I just simply don't use. I use everything in this game. It's one thing I absolutely love about this game. And again, using the sword makes you invincible. So use that to your advantage. This boss basically teaches you how to use the sword. Really great design. I don't know if one of the other... Okay, it hasn't come up yet. I was gonna say. Wasn't sure if this second arm had come up. Alright, I think that's everything, so I should probably get 100% on the destruction. Looks like I already got my first extra life, so in about 2.5 million points, I'll get a second extra life. Chetty says, I would love to see a Gradius 5 re-release. Yeah, me too. Hey, Greg, welcome back. Alright, so I'm going to do this. 1, 2. Alright, well, I sort of messed up that chain, but that's okay. I don't normally even get that chain, so... Yeah, and again, for anybody just joining us, I will be playing the non-filtered version afterwards. So this comes with, you know, graphical filters along with extra effects, just like the Xbox 360 version. And the new graphical effects could be a little much. I definitely prefer playing it with the old, you know, mesh transparencies and, you know, just like on Sega Saturn. Okay, this is dangerous. Very dangerous. Okay, that was close. One thing I love about Silvergun is that it is like a good entry-level bullet hell style game. As you can see, you've got a lot of constant like spread patterns you have to dodge and weave through. Hey, Colin, thank you very much for that, sir. This is a great thank you, Jess. Oh, this is a great thank you. I just... Oh, you had a crap show of a day at work. Sorry to hear that, man. Those are the worst. Alright, let's do that, that, and that. And let's see if I can keep this chain going. I mean, my weapon's powerful enough to where I probably don't need to do this, but I'm gonna go for it anyway. And I do have a powered up sword. Alright. Speaking of Silvergun, that was a Silvergun sword crash. Alright, so there's gonna be a bunch of yellow enemies up here. Ooh, look at that chain bonus. This is really risky. See, that's why it's risky. And that's why I wish I still had my sword. Oh no, I'm gonna die again. This could have been a lot of points if I got that right without dying, but I had used my sword. Oh no, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I know better than that. I know better than that. Well, it looks like I am going to most certainly die and get a game over early, which is kind of a bummer, but oh well. I might go ahead and just continue. In Silvergun in particular, I generally... yeah, I've got 3 credits. I'll go ahead and continue. I generally don't like continuing, but... You know, because it's one of those games I'm always trying to aim for a 1 credit clear. I mean, that's shmups in general for me. I don't like that choppiness right there, though. That is supposed to be like buttery smooth, and it's you know, that transition got a little choppy. I'm seeing some screen tearing too. On this part in particular, I'm seeing some screen tearing. And just a reminder for people, this is also on Xbox. It's, you know, came out on Xbox 360 over 10 years ago. And it's backwards compatible on all the current Xbox consoles, so Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and you can still buy the game there. I don't recall the 360 version ever having any performance issues, so, you know, if you're looking for a completely flawless Silvergun, you know, in terms of performance, then that's still an option, and it's actually a little bit cheaper too. Hey Mario, welcome back. Yeah, see that? When that background like flipped around, that was a little choppy too, and I saw some screen tearing. Yeah, so the performance on this is definitely not perfect. I do wonder if they'll fix it. And also, I'm very curious if the performance will change when I turn all these graphical effects off. Yeah, the sound effects are also a little different. Like, this sound effect is a little more harsh than it's supposed to be. And I think in the story mode there would be a dog in between, like, where those lasers cross over. Oh yeah, oh that was really choppy there. Oh, it's still choppy. It's actually kind of insane, because there's, like... I think the Saturn version might chop up, like, once or twice. I don't know. If it does, I do not remember it. But it's funny seeing a version on a newer platform 25 years later be choppy. Yeah, I like using my homing lock-on here because one other thing I haven't explained is you do get weapon bonuses. If you just constantly use the same weapon over and over again, you'll get extra bonus points for doing so. So every X amount of enemies I lock onto with this weapon, I get an extra 10,000 points. So I'm doing decent damage, but I'm also getting free points in the process. Now these bosses can time out. But, you know, once you learn the strategies, it's very rare that they'll time out. So you don't really have to feel rushed when you're using, say, the homing lock-on weapon. Just do it. Milk those extra bonus points. Hey, Die Hard, welcome back. Ooh, I did that a little too late. I don't normally go for those enemies, but I just figured I'd try. Alright, so this boss has 4 weak points. The one in the center is, or the one that starts, is what depletes its actual health bar. You'll notice that there's actually a tiny little line in the bottom of the screen. That's a health bar for all the bosses. So you want to keep an eye on that as you're shooting stuff. And give you an idea of, you know, what you need to do in order to defeat the boss. But if you want 100% destruction, then you need to try to destroy... Whoa, I almost ran into that. You need to try to destroy all of the sides. Alright, there's one. Uh-oh, why did I sit there? That was just really dumb. Oof. Alright, I'll continue again. Ugh. Not a good run. Not a good run at all, considering I've gamed over twice already. But at least you guys get to see what this route is like. Yeah, that sound effect is just harsh compared to what I'm used to. And it's not really a big deal, it's just different. It's not what I'm used to. Alright, now I think it's going to start spinning around faster. Looks like the one up above is the weak spot. Yeah, see, normally I would have this boss defeated by this point. So the longer the bosses are around, the more patterns they have, the more shiesty things get. I think that's it. I think yeah, okay. So I got all of them. Let's see. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Alright, I'm not even going to bother chaining here. Just going to try to kill everything I see. Now, there's always been a complaint amongst the shmup players out there that Radiant Silvergun is, if you don't know how to chain, then you're probably not going to really be able to beat the game or one credit clear it. And that is, I'd say that's an accurate statement. However, I think there's a misconception that you have to chain perfectly for the whole game in order to finish it, and that's just not true. If you can chain well on the first level, you'll pretty much be fine for the rest of the game. And pretty much anybody, I think, can learn how to chain the first level. It's not that hard. Like I said, you've got your special chain, which you can do, or you can just try to kill the same colored enemy over and over again, and you can get really big points just from doing that. So on the very first level, like I demonstrated, is just chaining the red enemies in the first half is, for one, it's really easy, and two, you just get a ton of points for it. So alright, boss time. And then we're done with this level. Really cool boss. I mean, Radiant Silvergun is just full of creativity. I mean, Treasure, their games were generally like that. Treasure had very few duds in my book. But Radiant Silvergun is definitely top tier in terms of creativity. There's the treasure box. Oh, it disappeared. And you gotta remember, this was originally an arcade and Sega Saturn game. And so on the Saturn, this game was just absolutely incredible visually. We really hadn't seen anything quite like it on a home console. So while it might look a little dated by today's standards, it was extremely creative at the time, and it just blew us all away. At least in terms of the visuals. Not everybody likes the gameplay. Like I mentioned at the top of the stream, I didn't even like this game when I first played it. I was blown away by it visually. Like, I was like, I have to have that game when I saw it. At our electronics boutique up the street, one of the guys that worked there was big into import gaming. So he would bring in, like, he brought the Dreamcast in, like, when he imported it from Japan. They would actually carry Japanese Saturn games, and they would put them on a TV. So you'd go in and be like, what is that? And Radiant Silvergun was here. And I think this was actually one of the first scenes I ever saw. I think it's in the attract mode. And I was like, that is absolutely incredible. Both my friend and I that were there were just completely floored by what we saw. But gameplay-wise, I didn't like the game. I was actually really disappointed with it. It took really just giving it some time for it to finally, like, resonate and click with me, but then it just grew and grew and grew on me and became one of my all-time favorites. I'm just getting absolutely annihilated here as I reminisce about Radiant Silvergun. I can't wait to turn all these graphical effects off, though. They are distracting. A big thing in shoot 'em ups is actually being able to see what you're doing. If you can't see what you're doing in these games, then they are just, they're not nearly as fun. Yeah, this boss is a major endurance battle. You got these little turrets that come up on the sides. The walls also start slamming in, and things like that start happening. Obviously, the more powered up you are, the better you're going to do here. Woo! Also, if you haven't noticed it... Alright, last continue. If you haven't noticed it, the hitbox is extremely small in this game. So, even though some... Whoa, I actually ran into that grating. Even though things get pretty chaotic, you just gotta remember that you've got a lot of wiggle room in terms of, you know, your dodging capabilities. Whoa there. I will say this stick also isn't quite as tight as I would like it. That was my fault. Now, it's a good idea to balance, like, shooting the guys on the sides and then, you know, focusing on the weak point in the middle. Otherwise, it gets a little overwhelming with all these guys shooting little mini lasers at you. Oh, I don't know if that happens in the 360 version. I just realized the music actually cuts out. It doesn't loop indefinitely. It's supposed to loop indefinitely. So the Sega Saturn soundtrack was actually just generated by the Saturn's internal sound hardware. It was not CD audio. And so it would just loop and loop and loop until, like, you were done with the level or the fight. That's a major downgrade. That actually takes me out of the experience. I do not like that at all. I mean, this level in particular has a very epic theme that just really fits what's going on. Though one of the other things about Radiant Silvergun, for those of you that haven't played it, is it was definitely more on the cinematic side than your typical shoot 'em up was. And that's another thing that made it special. And when you screw with design choices that can affect the cinematic nature, like music fading out and then kicking back in, that takes you out of that cinematic experience, which is kind of a bummer. Very few games in the shooting genre were able to really pull that off and make the games feel like they were greater than the sum of their parts. You know, they were truly, truly special. Entertainment Wizard, I agree. If they decide to do a physical of this, I really hope that they patch it first. I really hope they patch it. Okay, so this is our final boss, but I only have one life left, and no continues. So we're not going to be able to defeat this guy. He's a really tough boss. Nice. Whee! Alright, sometimes I die from this part. Alright. This is what I was talking about, where, like, you know, bullet hell. It is, you know, it's a good beginner's bullet hell game, because you have to learn how to dodge, you know, dense patterns like this, take advantage of your small hitbox. But also, you'll notice in Radiant Silvergun, there's very few things that just fly at you at, like, lightning speed. It's not like those PC Engine shooters we were playing last night. So basically, it's very manageable, even though a lot is happening on screen. All right, he's almost dead here. He's gonna do a backflip. Whoosh. So cool, but it's also extremely disorienting. Extremely disorienting. Oh, that was close. Whoa, I can't see what I'm doing! Too many graphical effects! Oh, and that's it. Hey, Venom, what's going on? You will be buying this in just a bit. Hell yeah. I'm sure a lot of people will. Oh, man. I mean, that was actually a pretty good run on that final boss, though, I will say. Like, I was pretty happy about that. You know, went into it with 1 life. So... Yeah, Red says he thinks I'll need glasses soon with all these graphical effects, right? I feel the exact same way. Alright, let's go to our options menu. We'll just hit A. Settings, game screen, HUD. Alright, remember, if it's low res 1, we will do the mesh transparency. I'll go ahead and just leave the wallpaper on for right now, but we will change the wallpaper just so you guys can see different ones. Also, what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of the heads-up display. Old. We're going to turn the weapon list off. So what we're going to do is kind of show you what Silvergun was more like in the arcade and on Sega Saturn. Let's check the sound effects and stuff. Yeah, it's interesting that they changed the sound effects, and it doesn't seem like there's a way to switch them back. Like, the reverse shot, I'm pretty sure is more harsh here than it's supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be the same sound effect as your forward shot, but I don't know. I'll have to just fire up the Saturn version and just double check. Alright, let's go back. Yeah, there is a how to play screen as well, in case like you're new to this game and you want to kind of know what's going on. I don't recommend playing with the Joy-Cons, though. But to each their own. You know, you might get used to it. I like arcade sticks with my shooters. Radiant Silvergun might actually be a lot easier for people to pick up if they just use a standard gamepad, though, because there are a lot of different weapon types. Might be easier to get used to them. Whereas, again, I like playing with the arcade layout. So just a straight 3-button layout, and then you mix and match buttons to do different things. So, alright, let's go ahead and we'll do arcade mode again, except this time we will do score attack, which I think basically there are no continues in score attack. I think that's the main difference. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll try to take the right-hand side. Ah, look at the Sega Saturn quality graphics. I love it. It'll also be easier to see what's going on. We're gonna hit these 3 red enemies, or 6 red enemies, sorry. 1 blue, and then yellow. It's a good way to just quickly get our main weapon upgraded. Hey, Jayland, yeah, this actually came out today. It's a conversion of a 25-year-old or 24-year-old arcade and Saturn game. I am noticing there's some screen shimmer here. But I did blow the screen size up a little bit, so that could be what's going on. Alright, 100%. You get 100,000 points for that. Little dog right here. You just tap your homing, and then it'll activate. Try to get my spread weapon upgraded. Have it do some of the work for me. All right. Okay. Barely squeezed past that. I think my chain's gonna reset. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it as is, though. Does this have the Saturn mode save feature? It does. It's called story mode in this one. It's not called Saturn mode anymore. But it is still there, yes. And I think I'll show that off next after I attempt this arcade mode run. Attempt is the key word here. I mean, I'm going to get through the first levels. Shouldn't be a problem. But, okay, so I do actually want to have my sword ready to go. I try to save those outer turrets until my sword is charged up all the way. Let's go ahead and just shoot the middle. Okay, that's one turret. There we go. Ace says, that was the only way I was able to beat this game. Yeah, I highly recommend people start with that mode because it really, for one, makes beating the game a lot more doable without, like, you know, heavy credit feeding. But also, it allows you to get familiar with all the level layouts and boss patterns and stuff like that in a fun way. Alright, let's actually see if I can chain here. So I want to get rid of those guys. I want to shoot him. I don't even think there are any more yellow enemies. Ideally, what I would have done is just gone for the red enemies. I wasn't even paying attention. And as a result of doing what I just did, I missed all the doggos too. So I actually missed out on a bunch of points by trying to just chain the yellow ones. But still, my firepower's okay. I'm gonna do the same thing as last time. A and B together. You just kind of sit in between those lasers. Watch out for the lasers on the sides. They do ricochet, and then the fire on the sides. Whether there's fire on both sides just depends. There's a little bit of RNG on a lot of these bosses. Alright, let's go ahead and just do that again. Yep, just like that. Whew. Perfect. Alright, that's one blue after a bunch of red, and then in just as many yellow as we can. Get lots of points. Yeah, 40,000 for one shot. As long as I don't hit anything else, I'll keep that chain going. Woo! Got it. That was 60,000, then 70,000. Another doggy. Ooh, that was close. Alright, so this is where things get interesting. If you haven't depleted a lot of his health, it's just this constantly. You have to kind of like wiggle it back and forth. Hope you don't get hit by it. Or you can use your sword. That's why I wanted to prep my sword before going into that last phase. Again, that boss right there is one of the first, like, really big, you know, difficulty spikes. What am I... Kind of screwed that up. That's okay. Alright, let me try to get rid of these guys as quickly as possible. Makes my life easier. Nice. You'll do maximum damage with the sword if you're, like, right in the middle of the object that you're trying to smack. You can also hold your sword out. It's moderately powerful. Don't really recommend it. Mainly just want to swipe the pink bullets. Yeah, and the music just cut out again. The music is not supposed to cut out. Why did they do that? What's so hard about... If they're doing like using like a wave in the background or using like an MP3 or some other form of compressed audio, why didn't they just like record a longer version of it? I don't know. That really grinds my gears. That's like a big issue in my opinion. Like I said, Silvergun is very much like a cinematic kind of shooter, and when music just randomly cuts out, it really hurts the overall vibe. Yeah, after this run, I might even have to reset the screen to its default settings. Like the screen size, because I'm noticing there's a ton of like stuttering and shimmering and stuff like that. And I wonder if that's just because I've maxed out the screen size to 100%. It comes defaulted at like 70 or 80% or something. Yeah, there's a lot of chop going on, and I don't really know why. Hey, Beholder, welcome back. Alright, so we're gonna go to stage 4. The naming conventions in this game for levels has always confused me. Alright, so we'll do stage 4. Venom says, it stays like this, I wish I had a Velix. Yeah, I wish I had a Velix, that would be awesome. Probably a good opportunity to just try to chain red over and over. Can I do it? Oh, I failed miserably. That's what I get for being cocky. Yeah, this could have been really big points, actually, if I didn't die there. Chaining all these red blocks on top of a lot of other red blocks. Any dogs there? Nope. So the story mode has some extra hidden dogs. I think one of them there. One of them is like right at that entrance to the boss fight. And holy crap, that is so choppy! Oh, I hope this gets patched. It's gonna be funny, like, looking at this stream another 5 years down the road. And then at that time knowing if it had actually been patched and either smiling or crying to myself. At least I've got the Saturn version, and at least I still have access to my 360 version, so... Again, that one's backwards compatible on Xbox One and Series consoles, so you've got 3 generations of Xbox you can technically play this on. And I'll be very interested to see if this eventually gets ported to the PS4 or PS5. And man, this choppiness is making this boss fight a lot harder than it needs to be. Holy crap. Yeah, that chop is not good. DJ Dizzy, the input lag is good. I don't really notice it at all. It's pretty responsive, thankfully. I know a lot of Switch shooters have problems with input lag, but this does feel good. Granted, I am using the 8-bit DOE arcade stick. So again, input lag will vary depending on the devices that you're using. But with this arcade stick, it feels fine. I don't ever bother chaining on this level either. I find chaining here is a lot more difficult than Stage 2. So if you're trying to get upgraded faster, Stage 2 is the way to go. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I pressed all 3 buttons by accident, and that got me killed. I was trying to go for the dog. A lot of really cool boss fights on this this route. Yeah, unfortunately we are in score attack mode, so when I die here, that's gonna be it. We'll see if we can get ourselves another extra life, though. We still need 2 million points, so I don't think it's gonna happen. Gonna try to save my sword for the next part. Remember, your sword, when it's charged up, you can use it like a bomb. You're invincible. So you can use that as a safety mechanism. Whoa there. Woo-wee! This game can be intense sometimes. It's so good. It's the right level of intensity, though. Like, it's... You know... I feel like it's a manageable kind of intense. Alright, I think the last part... Alright, I'm not going for 100%. I don't care. Just want survival. Mighty Backflip asks, is it not good? I mean, I think it's passable. Most of it has been fine, but there are definitely some performance problems. Whoa there. Oh, that was bad. I thought I would destroy that missile, but apparently not. Yeah, well, so music doesn't cut out in that it's like, oh, it just randomly skips. Basically what's happening is, I guess the audio clips that they decided to use for the music, they just decided to fade them out. They basically had them as a finite length. And instead of chopping them up to where they can just repeat endlessly, they have it fade out at the end, and then it basically starts from the beginning. So not really like chopping up, but it is fading out and restarting. That's what's happening, just to clarify. Does take you out of the experience a little bit. And the biggest issue for me, aside from that, is the fact that the frame rate gets choppy. There's like weird stuttering that's happening at parts of the game. It's not the whole game, but when it is happening, it's really noticeable. And I've also noticed some screen tearing. Granted, I did expand the screen size, so we're gonna actually switch that back to the default settings just to see how it looks. And I see Super Robot Ed out there. Welcome back. Super Robot Ed says, this port is why I keep my 360 on deck. 360 has low input lag. Well, this version is low input lag too. I have experienced like no problems, and I've played the hell out of the 360 version. So yeah, this version's good in terms of input lag. I haven't had any issues, but again, I am using the 8-bit Do arcade stick. It might be different if you're using like a Bluetooth wireless controller. This supports that, but I'm actually using this in wired mode, so there are a lot of variables that can affect input latency. Entertainment Wizard says, Livewire has not done anything on PS4 yet, so I wonder if another developer would end up handling the PS4 version. Yeah, that's a good question. I hope it eventually comes to PS4, and hopefully PC. I mean, there's a lot of people that watch my channel that only have like one platform or another. For a lot of them, it's PlayStation 4. For a lot of them, they buy all their shmups on Steam. You know, hopefully Radiant Silvergun gets converted over to those platforms too. Oh yeah, Mighty Backflip. The game is totally still playable. Yeah, I just did a run and a half. Yeah, no, it feels fine. It's just the biggest thing again for me is the frame rate dipping, which is problematic in a shoot 'em up. Shoot 'em ups, I'd say it's the genre where consistent frame rates is the most important, because they are extremely precision-oriented games, and you know, if you have something that screws up your precision, it can get you killed instantly. So, oh man. Alright, what I'm going to do is actually take a quick little break. I see Milo is still there passed out. I'm going to actually get some more caffeine, so I will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Or go somewhere and come back. I don't know. Do whatever you feel like. Alright. Yeah, that's my kitty Milo. My other cat, Patchouli, is in the other room. She's sleeping by one of the windows. Despite what it looks like in the game room, it's actually nice and sunny out right now. It's about 4 p.m. my time. But it's a very hot day, though, here in Northern Virginia. Very hot day. DJ Dizzy says, Livewire has done some great shmup ports on Switch. I love their Mushi port. Hopefully they release that needed patch for the performance issues. Okay. Yeah, I didn't... So, you know, it's funny, I bought the Mushi port, but I haven't even played it yet, because I've had it on Steam for years, and so... I just bought it because I wanted it on Switch, not necessarily that I would actually, like, play it. So I haven't even played it yet. I don't even know who developed the port. But I guess that answers that. And hey, Aberdeen, welcome back. Man, I really want to play some Mushihima-sama now. I love that game. Mario says it was in the upper 80s today. Wow, that's not too bad, actually. For us, it's like in the 90s. So it's definitely annoying hot. Alright, let's go back into our options menu. So let's go ahead and hit that start button. Help and options. Go to settings. And we'll go to we'll turn the weapon stuff back on just for the newbies. And then what I will do is the game screen, I will put it back on default. Yeah, it looks like it starts, it looks like the display size defaults to 90%. So we'll go ahead and leave it on that. We'll do low res 2. I thought there were more like mesh options on the Xbox 360 version. Yeah, you can also turn the wallpaper brightness down a little bit too, so I'll do that. Let's see, wallpaper. No, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll try low res 2. We'll do alpha transparency this time. All right, we'll just see how this looks. Hey, Brandon, welcome back. Okay. Alright, so what we will do this time is we will do story mode. And this has a lot of talking and stuff like that in it too. Overlapped with the gameplay. Yep, we'll just start a new game. Okay, we've got to... that filter has got to go. That filter has got to go. Okay, low res 2 is like a filtered mode. Okay, I had no idea. Alright, the more you know.
あれから1年が経とうとしている。船のエネルギー、食料が底をつき始めたため、我々はいやおうなしに地上へ降りなければならなくなっている。この宇宙巡洋艦テトラが新型戦闘機3機を搭載していると、今回の帰還が大きな賭けであることに違いはない。正面からの戦闘はできる限り避けねばならんのだが。
I always go for this guy's center first, blow it off, then go for the side parts. It's actually a little tricky to get this one 100%. You gotta do it just right. And then you finish off the middle. Yeah, I am noticing like less screen shimmer here, so that is kind of disappointing that when you you blow up the screen size a little bit, it actually really affects how clean the image looks. It's not the worst thing ever. Like, if I was playing this on my big HD TV, it really wouldn't be a problem. And honestly, it doesn't really seem like a problem here. It's still... yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna do the same kind of chaining here. Nice, still got him. Let's do one blue. Nope, I didn't get it. It's okay. Yeah, the music just faded out, and it just restarted. That's a real bummer. Alright, still making progress. Yeah, leveled up a couple weapons there, that was nice. Let's see if I can just chain red over and over here. Last time I tried doing the special chain, but that failed. Oh, I hit one of those blue guys by accident. Oh, that's bad. I just completely lost my chain. But basically, you would just kind of come here like this. Oh well, not a big deal. Again, this is story mode, so when we get a game over, it, you know, we save our progress. No, we got an arm that's still alive. Yeah, you can tell these bosses aren't dying as fast as they were when I was playing arcade mode. But it's still not that much harder, if you ask me. So I remember on the Shmups forum years ago, someone was asking how to learn Radiant Silvergun, and I had suggested playing story mode or Saturn mode if you're playing that version. But some people disagreed, and I was like, Yeah, like enemies are a little bit beefier in this version or this mode, but it's not really that much harder. The Radiant Silvergun is such a slow game compared to like a Dodonpachi or something that it doesn't really make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. You're still gonna have to learn how to dodge the same way. So for people that really struggle with the arcade mode, I would highly recommend playing the story mode and just playing it over and over again and just getting good and comfortable with it that way. And then try to tackle arcade mode. Arcade mode really requires you to perform really well. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Nice. Heavy Metal FPS asks, is this game any good? How's the input lag? Does it feel snappy? It does feel snappy. There are some performance problems, like the frame rate will stutter. Like, it actually just stuttered just a tiny bit right there. So, you know. Also, the music fades in and out when there's... Basically, the music track will end. It'll fade out, and then it'll start right back up, which is a little jarring. I don't even think that happens in the 360 version. I really don't think it does. I mean, but overall, it plays fine. I'm using the 8-bit Do arcade stick, and it's quite responsive. We're in wired mode, however. I'm not playing wirelessly with my controller. Don't even care about chaining right here. I always thought there was a dog down here. Oh, that side part actually went back down. Whoops. All right. So when we beat this boss, we're not going to have a level selection choice anymore. We get thrown straight into stage 2. Mighty Backflip says, I wonder if some of the issues went overlooked because the playtesters weren't really that good at getting there. It is a tough game, especially if you're not used to it. Your 8-bit Do Genesis controller is hella snappy. Hell yeah, that's good to hear. Oops, I meant to let the story play. I was trying to like catch up on chat, so I paused it, which inadvertently skipped through, unfortunately. Oh, that boss? Oh, it's actually sort of based on R-Type. Interesting. I had always made that connection loosely, and I had it, even the thought was going through my head earlier with the green lasers. which is similar to one of the laser weapons in R-Type 2. Yeah, very interesting. Good to know. Mighty Backflip asks, does it have the Ikaruga chaining mode? It does, yeah. So all the extra bonus modes from the 360 version are here. Alright. Let's go ahead and keep... Oh, I need to drink some of my caffeine. I can't pour my caffeinated beverage and not consume it. That would be sacrilege. Alright, there we go.
西暦2020年7月14日話は1年前に遡る異常警報レベル A の発令から全人類消滅の瞬間に
Why did I do that?
全ての原因
There's a doggo.
紀元前の地層から発掘されたあの
Yeah, because I died, I'm pretty sure I lost my chain.
間違いないだろう
Alright, not a big deal.
調査していた火剣山部で一体何が起こったのかそして奴らの目的は何なのか
Yeah, unfortunately, because I died, it screwed up my chaining opportunity for this next section, so... That's a bummer. Yeah, and it seems like it's a little bit harder to level up your weapons, too. I'm not as upgraded here as I was earlier. Granted, I have been messing around with, like, the homing shot, so that will make a difference. Alright, see you, Dasan. Have a good one. Oh, that's right, there's this part. I can chain here. Okay, so it's not over just yet. Oops, did not mean to do that. I hate having to do that, but this seems to be random. Like, the layout here just seems to be totally random. It's good to have a sword charge. Alright, now I have to follow it. Whoops! I got lucky there. Glad that dude flew away. I always try to scrape the walls here just for a few extra points. It's nothing special, but might as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't normally take that boss that far, because I'm not usually playing story mode. Ooh, look at that chop. Yeah, it gets really choppy here. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, that was close too. This is kind of scary. I'm not used to these bosses lasting so long. My chaining strategy on arcade mode is very much the same, but your weapons upgrade faster in arcade mode, especially if you're scoring really well, so... Heavy Metal, there are some actual gameplay parts that have a choppy frame rate. So on stage 4, one of the first bosses there, it got really choppy. So most of the game seems pretty solid, but there are some gameplay moments where it is affected. And you know, this is day 1. We'll see if it gets patched. Hopefully it does. Alright, there should be a dog right here. Yep. That's a story mode exclusive. Only 30 points. It's probably based on, like, your chain status. Does this game have any sort of arcade slowdown? No. Arcade version was pretty much rock solid. And even on Saturn, it was pretty much rock solid as well. I think the only slowdown in those versions was really when, like, you defeated a boss and it was, you know, blowing up. Alright, sweet. You've only ever known ports of this game. Gotcha. Yeah, I've owned the arcade PCB. So I played a lot of the original arcade version on the Sega STV board. Not really any differences, you know, to the Saturn version. In terms of, like, you know, if you're just comparing arcade mode. They're pretty much identical. So if you've at least played the Saturn version, you know, the arcade PCB is basically the same when it comes to arcade mode. Oh, that was close. Yeah, what's interesting about this boss is it'll actually sort of turn around based on where you are at the bottom of the screen, or on the playfield, I should say. So if you move over to the left, it'll, like, sort of curve over to the right. It's interesting. So you're better off kind of sitting straight down in the middle. I don't even really care about the 100% now. I just want to get rid of this guy. We got wrecked by this dude last time. No 100% for me. That's okay. Michael has it on the Xbox 360. Yeah, that's a good version. Yeah, no, I hear you, Mighty. Not fixing it would definitely make Radiant Silvergun fanboys a little bitter. So hopefully they do get it fixed. Ugh. Alright. Pretty sure there's supposed to be a doggo here. Or I thought there was. Man, I am completely misremembering where the dogs are. Oh, there he is. I always thought he was like right after that entrance. Or right at the entrance. I don't know. I'm misremembering. Unless they changed them. Which is possible. Alright. Getting close to being done with this level. Ooh, look at that chop. Oof. And screen tearing. I love this pattern. Oh, that sucked. I was right on top of it. I couldn't do anything. Oh, and I got sloppy. I should have just destroyed it. Oh, man. Alright, so now we can actually save our data. We'll do save file 3. Yes. Putting my initials in doesn't really matter. Alright, so. Thanks for the GG Heavy Metal. I appreciate that. Oh, man. Alright, let's, what time are we at? We're at, almost 2 hours. It looks like my friend, in terms of being able to help me get my pinball machine out of my apartment, is not available, so I can go ahead and just keep streaming. What we'll do is, I want to actually turn it back onto the high-res visuals. We'll go to settings, game screen. We'll do high-res with no effects. So this is actually a pretty acceptable balance between the old style and the new style. Mighty Backflip says, I will still get this. I take the gamble. Fair enough. Alright, so what we can do is do story mode, do normal play, and then continue data 3. So it shows you what your levels are at for each weapon. Let's go ahead and start. You start from the very beginning of the game. Alright. You can see I've kept my weapon power. And it's fun just mowing through these guys on level 1 with like high level firepower. This is true. For some of you guys, it's Radiant Silvergun on the go. I don't do handheld gaming anymore, really, because I'm never on the go. But I can totally see that being a valuable option for a lot of you guys. Yeah, just like Ikaruga, which came later, the faster you kill bosses or certain enemy segments, you'll have like more enemies fly in. Actually, it doesn't really happen when you're just killing chains of enemies, but it's mainly in like boss fights. This is another way to try to, like, grind out to get your other weapons upgraded a little bit faster or a little bit higher. Alright, we've got blue turrets. I don't want to touch those because I want to keep chaining. Hey, Office, welcome back. Oops, I messed up my special chain because my weapon was too powerful. I didn't even think about it. I don't know if you can earn extra lives in Saturn mode, but it looks like I've got 5 for some reason. Yeah, look at that. It's so much faster now. And this is what's fun about story mode, is like if you're really struggling with the game, well, you can start a fresh game with your same save data and just start to like rip and tear through the enemies. And at this point, it's like, do I even need the chain? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I totally screwed up. There goes one of my 5 lives. Alex, the 360 version did have Saturn mode. It's called Story Mode. It's the same thing. And we're actually playing the story mode right now. So yeah, you do not need the Saturn version if you want to experience that. But regardless, like, for me, like, Radiant Silvergun is one of my favorite games of all time. So, like, I've got a Saturn version as well. Don't really need it. And I also had to overpay. But, But yeah, the Saturn mode was just renamed to Story Mode for the 360 and now this version. Yeah, now I'm wondering if the dogs are based on chains. Maybe I shouldn't start a new red chain before going into this part and collecting that dog. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Or maybe not. I am pretty powerful right now. Forgot about that part. Ooh, they're close. Woo! Okay, that's not working. The Saturn gave you additional continues for the hours. This still tracks all your time and stuff like that, so it might actually still do that. It's been a long time since I've actually played a lot of the story mode. It's how I got into the game back in the day, but once I got the arcade PCB, I basically never played it again. I was just all about trying to get better at arcade mode. Yeah, so I'd be very curious to know about that. I don't even remember, story mode or even Saturn mode giving you continues. If anyone can clarify or validate that, let me know. I always thought that you just had to start a new game fresh. But I also did notice that I started off with 5 lives. I don't know if it just awarded me my 2 extra lives immediately because I had like 5 million points to start. It's something I'll have to look into. Yeah, I always forget that that right arm doesn't actually, you don't actually destroy that. It's a little deceiving. Whoa there. Both those sidearms came up at the same time. Usually they're a little staggered. Makes you wonder if there's like rank involved in story mode. Like, you know, if you're upgraded higher, these pieces will come in faster? Maybe? Or it's just random. Could just be random. Might not even be rank based at all. There might be no rank in Radiant Silvergun. Alright, good time to pour the rest of my caffeine. Uh-oh. I poured a little too much. Yeah, Entertainment Wizard, so how it works again is when you game over, you save your data to a file, and then you start a new game with that file, and you retain your weapon levels from the very beginning of the game. So, as you play it and game over, your weapon levels will get higher and higher at the start of the game when you decide to continue. What controller am I using? I'm using the 8-bit Do arcade stick. It's a solid little stick, actually. It's, I like it. Nice, I got it that time. Oh, okay, that was really close. Even closer than the first time we played. Yeah, I'm noticing that that string is much larger now. Or whatever you want to call it. Ninja says, this game's final boss is so good and unique. Yeah, I agree. The final boss is pretty amazing in this game. Oops. I totally screwed that up. There's the music. Oh no! I clipped the wall. I hate it when that happens. I hate it so much. It was all for the points. Oh man. I do love killing this boss fast enough to where you don't even have to go into its final phase. That was close. Alright, see you, Heavy Metal. Thanks for popping in, checking out the stream. I appreciate that. Have a good night. Yeah, even with this game's faults, I mean, it's still Radiant Silvergun. But like I said, I really hope they fix the problems. Because Radiant Silvergun does deserve better than that. I mean, any game deserves better than that. Any game that originally had a smooth frame rate deserves to have a smooth frame rate in its modern incarnation. It's as simple as that. You know? Now, if the game originally was choppy and they retained the choppiness, okay, that's one thing, I guess. But, well, Radiant Silvergun was always, aside from like these explosion parts, was generally buttery smooth. I think some of the explosion parts could skip or slow down. I really wish my RGB setup was working right for my Saturn. Well, I mean, never mind. I said that totally incorrectly. My RGB cable bit the dust, and so the quality of Saturn footage is not really very good. If my RGB cable was still working, I would literally fire up the Saturn right now, and I would show you guys that. For those of you that have not seen the Saturn version in action. Yeah, the dogs have got to be based on chaining, because I'm always getting 30 points on that dog, but it's because I'm not chaining. I'm not chaining on that part. So... Uh-oh, that's not good. That's not good. You don't want to get cornered by this guy. You will die. Oh well, no 100%. That's okay. Alex says, I wish more shmups were this polished in terms of level transitions. Yeah, the music is just perfect. Yep, I totally agree. This game, in a lot of ways, is just on a like totally other level from not just even shoot 'em ups, but like a lot of other games. It's so seamless and it's great. Yeah, S-Video does look pretty good, but my S-Video cable... One of the things I really hate about the Saturn is that the connectors themselves, on the cables themselves, I should say, have pins that are just right out in the open. And what ends up happening is I try to put an AV cable in to the Saturn, and the pins get bent. And bent. And bent. And it's just a nightmare just getting my cables into the console. That's actually why my RGB cable died. I couldn't get the pins bent back into place correctly. And the same thing happened with my S-Video cable. So now I just have a composite cable. So I actually, very soon, I need to order another RGB cable. Yeah, Saturn's S-Video is actually very good. I actually did that for a little while before I did RGB. But when you've got a console that does RGB out of the box, it's like you might as well. Cafe Man, yeah, it's very similar. There is an extra gameplay mode, which has Ikaruga style scoring. Basically, Cafe Man, this is a port of the Xbox 360 conversion. So it's got all the features of the Xbox 360 one, which was a good version. So I've never actually tried to like legitimately chain this part. I would imagine it would be pretty difficult with like the rotating projectiles. Nice. What cable do I use for RGB? I was using just SCART cables from Retro Gaming Cables. RetroGamingCables.co.uk. Please don't corner me again. Alright, I don't even care about... Well, I do kind of care about that. Okay, good, got him. Woo-wee!
説明する暇はない。艦長、あとは頼んだぞ。
なんか喋ってますけど。
とっとと辛かった方がいいみたいだぜ。どうしたどうした。なんで攻撃するんだ。
私やめとく。
艦長。
司令部の記憶データが残っていれば、あれについて何かわかるかもしれません。
ゲート13側に回れ。司令部へ向かう。
Alright, I need to pause it real quick. I need to check my phone. I got a text from my friend who's supposed to help me move my pinball. Alright, I told him I'm streaming. Wait until 5:30. Alright, oh, look at that chop. The chop is the worst here. Ugh. We're gonna see if we can chain this part a little bit better than last time. I tried last time, but failed. Ugh, I failed again! Man. I've never really tried chaining this part significantly, so... That's rough. I really wanted to get to this second set of blocks and just, like, blow them all up and get tons of points. Now, there is this. I can destroy this guy. Yeah, something like that. Something. I thought there was supposed to be a dog there, too. Man. I need to play through the Saturn version's story mode again. Or Saturn mode. Yeah, this is the boss I was talking about earlier, where I felt this got really choppy. Definitely a little jarring. This is a great boss, though. Just a lot of simple left and right dodging. Or forward and back. And just, like, you know, one of the best tracks in the game, too. Super Robot Ed says there's a place here in Raleigh that had an actual arcade machine of Silvergun. That's awesome. That is not something you see very often. I mean, even back in the day, it was very uncommon to see a Silvergun board out in the wild. In the United States, anyway. I'm not sure about, like, Japan. I'd imagine it's a lot more common over there. I don't know why that thing wasn't twisting. That was weird. Hey, Tony, welcome back. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, alright, I think we're on our last life. Oh! Okay, this is our last life. I was too focused on all the pink bullets. So I'm trying to absorb them to get my sword energy up. Oh, that's not good. Please die, please die. Okay. Oh, man. Bilbo Baggins saw the announcement today. Glad to see some gameplay already. Hell yeah. Yeah, this actually just kind of happened to work out for me because I'm off work today. So I saw the release announcement and I was like, okay, going to buy it right now. I'm going to stream it right now. And here we are. Ah, you don't want to use that. I actually haven't been to this level in a long time, or this part of this level in a long time. Because I usually play arcade mode, and I will usually take the number 2 route, or stage 2 route, because I can get my character upgraded a lot better. I forgot how cool this level was, though. There's some interesting patterns. Those big, chonky, green projectiles. It's good stuff. So I mentioned it early on in the stream, but if you play all the way through story mode... Whoa! I totally forgot about that. The music fading out actually made me think we're going to a boss fight. If you play all the way through the story mode, you go to a brand new level that's just in the story mode. No, 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 no! I knew that was gonna happen. I ran into one of the columns. Yeah, we can see we've actually upgraded our weapons quite a bit there, so... Oh, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Mighty Backflip. You said you were going to be picking up a Saturn sometime soon, and this was on the list to play. Glad you can just get it now. Yeah, I mean, this is... So... this has been out on Xbox 360 for like over 10 years now, and it's still available for purchase, and it's also backwards compatible on Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles. So anyone that is on that ecosystem, you can still get this game there, and it's actually a little bit cheaper and it performs better. But for everybody else that's not in the Xbox ecosystem, then yeah, you can buy the Switch version. It is available as of today. It's yet to be seen if it's going to be ported to, you know, PlayStation or PC. We will see. Black Gift asks, is this on PS4? No. Not as of now. Hopefully it's eventually ported, but apparently the guys that did this conversion, they haven't actually ported anything to PlayStation yet, so not a great sign, but hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they make an exception for this game. So... Yeah, that's how you chain that part. I've always wanted to try that, but I kept messing up on the two attempts I tried today. Let's do, I'll change the graphical settings again. Let's do one more, except this time we'll try the Ikaruga scoring, which is going to completely, like, throw me off. Oh, man. Alright, it's a game screen. I'm gonna go back to... I'm gonna go back to low-res 1. And we will do the mesh transparencies, and I'll leave the modern HUD on. Let's go ahead and go back. Got it. Played it just a bit. Better keep working. Yeah, Venom. If you're at work, you should probably keep working. So if you go to, something I actually meant to show off is that, I don't remember exactly where it is. I saw it earlier. Is it credits? No, it's not credits. Let's see. How to play. Controls. Oops. Alright, where is it? Let's go back. Play stats! There it is. Yeah, so it looks like we played it for 2 hours and 17 minutes. Yeah, it gives you information about your chains and stuff like that. Boss 100%. Haven't cleared it yet. Oh, the Marys, those are, I guess, the dogs. I just like to call them doggos. Doggos, doggies, whatever. Alright, so yeah, that actually tracks your stats. I don't know how, like, unlocks work in this one, and honestly, it's been so long since I've really binged the Saturn version that I don't even remember how unlocks work in that, but some of them are based on time, others are, like, you might unlock continues as you, you know, repeatedly play arcade mode, things like that. Alright, let's do single player. We will go back to arcade mode. We will do, go ahead and do score attack. Okay, that doesn't actually work. This is interesting. I wonder if you have to unlock it. I'm not seeing the Ikaruga scoring here, even though they said there was that. Please don't tell me I have to unlock that. Mighty Backflip says, I think you have to unlock the Ikaruga mode. Oh, that is horrible. I thought that was available. I mean, maybe it wasn't available out of the box in the 361, and I just played the game so much that I eventually unlocked it, and I don't remember because it was like 10 years ago. 10 years ago is a quarter of my life. That's a long time, especially as you get older and you've consumed copious amounts of brain-killing substances like alcohol. My memory doesn't work as well, needless to say, as it used to. Who ported this? A company called Livewire. Apparently they did some other shmup ports to the Switch, like Mushihime-sama. Man, I'm really disappointed I can't show off Ikaruga mode. We haven't played enough, apparently. Yeah, that really sucks. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna Google it real quick. I'm gonna see what it takes to unlock it in the 361. Oh, huh. So, okay, so I'm reading about the Xbox 360 version. They say the only way to unlock Ikaruga mode on Radiant Silvergun is by owning Ikaruga on 360 and unlocking an achievement. So Ikaruga came out way before Radiant Silvergun on Xbox 360. It was an earlier... It was in like the first 2 years of 360 was out. It was an earlier Xbox Live Arcade game. So that explains why I probably had it available from day one with Radiant Silvergun. But this, on the Switch, I have no idea how you're supposed to unlock it. I have no clue. Unless it's... If you own Ikaruga on Switch... Do I even own Ikaruga on Switch? I don't think I ever bought Ikaruga on Switch. I don't think I have Ikaruga on Switch. I mean, it's a game I've like double and triple and quadruple dipped on, but I don't think I did it on Switch. I don't have this. Oh, it's already by title. Really? Okay. These are all arcade archives. I don't see Ikaruga. And these are just my installed games. Yeah, if I had a lot more time, I would just turn this into a shmup string, because I've got a lot of shooters on Switch. Huh. Ikaruga did come out on Switch, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible, Mighty, that I don't have Ikaruga on Switch. Because, I own it on PC, I have it on 360, I bought the Dreamcast version when it came out, and I think I might have even bought it on PS4. So it's like, I'm like, I don't really need it on Switch. $15. Alright, let's go to the kitty cam real quick. I don't think this is going to do anything for me, but I'm going to go ahead and get it anyway. Just for science. Let's go ahead and redeem my $1.77. We'll make it a $13.22 game instead of a instead of the $15 game. There you go, guys. I now own Ikaruga for the Nintendo Switch. I just spent $35 today for this damn stream. And last night, it's funny, on my TurboGrafx mini stream, I was like, I'm not buying games for streams anymore, and here I am. I just bought a game for a stream. Let's go ahead and close this. I'll launch Ikaruga real quick, and I don't know if it's going to do anything, but I'll relaunch Silvergun afterwards. I showed Treasure some love today. Yeah, they got $35 of my money. Man, Treasure is one of my favorite companies, though. Unfortunately, they're not really actively doing game development anymore. Outside of the occasional Ikaruga conversion. But they're still a personal favorite. And when I go back and play their stuff from the 90s and early 2000s, it's just like, I feel right at home. One I actually finally got to play recently was Rakugaki Showtime on PlayStation. That was super fun. I was like, whoa, it's typical classic creative Treasure, and it's just, you know, very unique. It's a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll do a stream of that sometime. Hey, Uber Disco. Welcome back. Appendix menu. Sure. Oh, Nicholas published this one. I forgot about that. Yeah, this is so quiet compared to Radiant Silvergun. Let's go to settings, audio. Oh, that's why. Yeah, it looks good. Oh, you know what? I may have... No, it's still there. It's still super quiet. It's weird. Continue off. Back. Extra. Easy menu. Deselectable. Alright, controls. Wait, can I not actually just, like, customize my controls? That's weird. That's a bummer. Potbelly says, one of these days I need to... Whoops. I need to figure out how to play Dragon Force. Yeah, Dragon Force is a fun game. I've got a few streams of that, Potbelly. You know, in the beginning of the streams in particular, like, I explain all the mechanics and stuff like that. So if you want to learn how to play the game, you can just go watch one of those videos I have on my channel. So basically, for anybody just joining us, we're trying to figure out if having Ikaruga on Switch will unlock Ikaruga mode on Radiant Silvergun. And I suck at this game, by the way. Oh, almost missed it. Ah, messed up the chains. I think what I'll do is I'll try to get past stage 1, and then I'll get a game over, and we'll see if that does anything for us. Whoops. So any of you that's not played Ikaruga, you've got 2 polarities. And you can absorb energy or bullets of the same polarity. And then you do double damage if you're shooting enemies of the opposite polarity. It's a really cool gameplay system. But like Radiant Silvergun, you've got a chain system. Chaining is very important in this in terms of scoring, but it's not very important when it comes to survival. You might earn some extra lives, but for the most part, chaining is more so for fun or scoring high. Achievement unlocked! Okay, maybe that's what we need, just like the Xbox 360 one. Die Hard, probably. They probably had some kind of code system. A lot of shooters from that time did, where you'd punch the code into a website. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can just get a game over. I will say, Ikaruga on Switch looks really nice in docked mode. It's very nice, actually. And I haven't really noticed any performance issues yet, which is great. I really want to put a lot more time into Ikaruga again and try to actually get good at it again. I haven't really been like decent at the game since the Dreamcast version was new. And the thing about Ikaruga is like it's very memorization heavy. You don't have a lot of flexibility. It's like it's so disorienting, you know. Alright, let's go ahead and close that out. Now, every time I play Ikaruga, it's like I have to relearn the game from the ground up. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, let's see. No, it's still not here. So the treasure just got $15 from me for no reason. It's okay. Now I got Ikaruga on Switch. It's not the end of the world. Oh man, unfortunately, I don't really think there's man, I don't really think there's much I can do here. Like, I don't think... I mean, I could just, like, play one stage, but I'd rather... Man, I always... Yeah, like, the stage names always confuse me. I always forget which one is, like, the last level and which one's the first level. We'll see if it's stage 6. Oh, there we go. Radiant Silvergun is definitely in the eShop. That's how I got it. Now, it might depend on what country you're in. I don't know about other countries. Yeah, for anybody just joining, this is actually the final boss. But man, my weapon energy is like maxed out, so he's actually really easy right now. You think it may have been delisted? What? Okay, I'll check afterwards. Yeah, Venom bought it just a few minutes ago. Yeah, I bought it by going to the actual Switch system. Oh, it's not going to do the last part. I think it's not going to do the last part because I didn't actually get to that last part. So the very final part of Radiant Silvergun is you basically can't shoot anymore, and it's like, I think it's like 60 seconds of dodging. Pretty cool way to end the game. And then you get the ending. So, well, I think that's gonna do it for the stream, but let me go to the eShop just to double check. But I'm pretty sure it should still be there. So let's go ahead and close that out. Mighty Backflip says it's still there for him too. Yeah, it was under the Nintendo Direct games. That's how I got it. It is not there anymore. Yeah, that's how I found it. Let's do a quick search. Not a good sign, guys. Very, very interesting. Wait, Venom, you say the Ikaruga mode is there for you? Do you own Ikaruga on Switch, Venom? I'm gonna guess you probably do. And the next question would be, have you played it much? Yeah, very interesting. Mighty Backflip says it's there for him under recent releases. This is recent releases, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, by the way, this one up here, I need to get this sometime. I'll probably get it on Xbox, but this game looks hilarious. It's by Mommy's Best Games. And they posted about it on the Shmups forum recently. It's like it's a parody of like the 360, like late era 360 dashboard and all the sorts of stuff that was happening at the time. But yeah, I don't see it here either. Mike says, I bet Nintendo took it down to their servers being overwhelmed by all the purchases. Or maybe they ended up releasing a version that wasn't like meant to be released, like it wasn't optimized correctly or something. Because as we experienced, there were a lot of performance issues. I mean, not enough to like completely kill the experience, but if you're like a huge fan of Silvergun, you know, it will potentially be disappointing. Mighty Backflip says it's one of the first games for him. I wonder if it's like region specific. Potbelly says it's been removed from search on the website as well. Mighty Backflip says he's in Europe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm US, obviously. So maybe it's just a United States thing. But it's definitely not here, so any day now, Switch. I've noticed that the Switch shop is actually really sluggish. It used to be really snappy, now it's kind of sluggish. God, I can't stand modern game box art. It's just everything looks so generic to me. I scroll through these stores and I endlessly scroll. I don't even bother clicking on anything because it's just like, okay, everything looks like everything else. It takes a lot to actually catch my eyes now. It's just, I've been around so long that I don't even really know how to explain it. I mean, curious. Oh, Martian Panic is back. Oh, you got to be kidding me. This was a Wii game. This was a Wii light gun game. God, man, I can't believe they're even bringing back old like bargain bin Wii games. I mean, Martian Attack was actually, or Martian Panic was actually a pretty good game. Really hard in the hands, though, if I remember correctly. Nier Automata is coming out October. Interesting. Yeah, for anybody just... Ooh, Arkanoid, Eternal Battle. Oh, that's the one that Adam had linked me to. That actually looks really rad. I might actually have to get that. I don't buy a lot of new games lately, but that actually looked really cool. Yeah, anybody just joining, we discovered that Radiant Silvergun is now delisted from the eShop, at least in the United States. So we're just kind of like going through and seeing if we can find it again. Nintendo delisted it because it was outselling Splatoon 3. No, I'm just kidding. Mike wants a Switch release of Sewer Shark. Oh, jeez. Alex asks, any chance Limited Run will release a physical version? Potentially. Yeah, Die Hard says it's still visible in Europe, so it could be a configuration issue. Yeah, it is definitely not here. So that is very interesting. Yeah, so I bought it by clicking on the Nintendo Direct. Unless the game wasn't supposed to come out today. I mean, I assume I haven't watched the Nintendo Direct. I actually was made aware of Silvergun because of people on my Discord. But, yeah, so I didn't even watch the Direct. I don't know if the Direct said, oh, it's available now, or it's available later today, or something like that. They said later that day, okay. I hope they uploaded the wrong build, Potbelly, because like I said, there were performance issues with it. Wait, Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Oh, that's just featured. I was gonna say, didn't that come out a long time ago? It's always weird seeing my my Wii U games on here. I bought all those games on Wii U, so I haven't even touched them on Switch. Bayonetta 3. Well, that's a shame. Sorry, guys. For anyone that was looking forward to this game today. Looks like some of us, you know, got in early, but it's definitely not there anymore. So that's a real bummer. John asks about GoldenEye. Yeah, that was actually announced on the Direct as well, apparently. So it is a part of the N64 add-on, unfortunately. So like, oh look, it's even there. You can see GoldenEye right there. More N64 games on the way. But, let's see. And apparently it is... Oh, I can't just see the games. That's going to be video, most likely. Let's see. Game Archives N64. Dr. Mario 64. Paper Mario. Wow, they don't even have GoldenEye listed here. So this part of the store page, or I should say page, hasn't even been updated yet. Huh, interesting. But yeah, Xbox is also getting GoldenEye. Apparently it's not going to be the Xbox 360 version that was canceled a long time ago. It's going to be like the one available on the expansion pack, you know, Nintendo Online membership site. And yet to be seen if it's going to have online multiplayer, but my speculation is that, based on the screenshots that were shown, that it's probably using the same emulation package as what was used for like Killer Instinct Gold, Jet Force Gemini, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and those were a part of Rare Replay on Xbox One, and they were HD. They ran at 60 FPS, so they were definitely, you know, more enjoyable to play there. And so I think GoldenEye is going to be the same way. And if you have Rare Replay, to sort of solidify that theory, is apparently you'll get it for free if you own Rare Replay already, at least digitally, they said. I don't know how that'll work with the physical versions, if it'll work at all. But, yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. Microsoft hasn't actually announced a firm release date on that yet. They just said coming soon, so who knows. So, kind of interesting stuff there. Kind of interesting that's even happening. Freaking GoldenEye. Let's see. Let's go back to the shop one more time. Mike says he's stoked for Pilot Wing 64 on the Switch soon. Alright, let's check this one more time. Just see if it's See if it's come back. Nope, still no Radiant Silvergun. Radiant Silvergun has bit the dust, apparently, in the United States. Oh well. Let's see. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is going to do it for me. Thanks a lot for hanging out today. I do appreciate it. Oh, looks like my cat has actually left. That's probably what was making noise out there. I thought maybe my friend was here and was knocking on my door. Yeah. The kitties have abandoned us. But thank you very much for hanging out. I'll try to have the archive posted up probably later tonight or sometime tomorrow. Since a lot of you guys probably want to see what this is like. I'll try to get these backer slides updated. I know I'm a few weeks behind at this point. But I'll try to get that updated. But, yeah. Hamilton says, I keep missing you. Sorry, Hamilton. Hey, Mark, I didn't see you out there. And hey, T. Gardner, I didn't see you out there either. Thanks for popping in, guys. Much appreciated. Mighty Backflip says, hey, at least we got some RS content. Hell yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some of that Radiant Silvergun. But alrighty. Yeah. Whew. I'm tired. It's time to stand up and walk around a little bit. But thanks again for watching, guys. I guess until the next one, take it easy.